Hi guys, how are you all doing? I am live on Saturday night. It's gonna be amazing because I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic as I do every time, but today something more to it because I will tell you later. You have to first join in. You will have to share a watch party, and then I will tell you what is the plan. What's it? What's it, guys? What's it? What's up, people? Come on, join in live now. हाँ, some days it's like you think यार थोड़ा और काम कर लिया होता, etc. etc. And then some days you are like, what? The day is already over? When did it just happen? And मेरा आज exactly वही दिन था. A crazy long day. Oh, okay. So that's my husband who's resting after a crazy day, and I am here with you guys, not resting after a crazy day, and I'm hungry, and I think I want to eat sizzlers. So can anyone join in and tell me where I can find good sizzlers? I'm so tempted to eat, man. Amazing, guys. Can you share watch party, please? Amazing. Join in, join in. And today we're going to talk about how to separate pain from pleasure. Now, what do I mean to say by this? I know, few of you guys, you were literally pouncing on me that we don't consider pain into it, we don't consider this into it. I was like, relax, guys. It's a metaphor. A lot of couples, when I was coaching, when I met, when I spoken to them, what I come to know about while talking to them, that yeah, why are you pointing out this problem? ये तो होता ही है. Are you one of those? You kind of tag it along that ठीक है यार, ये तो क्या इसमें इतनी बात करना, this is very common in marriage, ये तो होता ही है, kind of conversation. That is what exactly I want to tell you about that. No, come out of that zone. That ये नहीं होता है शादी में. शादी is very beautiful. Marriage is very, very, very beautiful constitution altogether, and we sadly see upon it in a very sad, demeaning, painful, agony, brutal way. So I am here to make your lives much simpler, much better, much beautiful, and much happier. Hi, this is Ruchi Hirani, mother to this amazing daughter, wife to a superhuman, a lot foodie. I miss my sizzlers. A little crazy, but a strong believer. Choreographer turned homemaker turned author, and now a couple clarity expert, creator and curator of Happily Ever After lifestyle. My mission is to help millions of newlyweds out there in the first 7 years of their marriage to design their marriage and design their lives in a way that they can overcome all the negative emotions by themselves, transform them into a power couple, thus designing happily ever after. I am here. We are about to end this entire series with a bang. So I have brought a very special person. Let me tell you who is Dipali all about. You meet her, she has an amazing aura. She has a vibe to it, the way she speaks. You'll find it, the poise that she has. It's beautiful. But before she comes and uska jalwa dikhaye, uske pehle let me quickly tell you who Dipali really is. So basically, she has a work experience of over 25 years in marketing, hospitality, and events. And she specialized in strategy development, business development, brand positioning, public relationship, and communication, and a lot more other things. For more than decades, she had been associated for her organization with the brand FTV, that is Fashion TV, in India and in UAE, with her in different capacities, last being the director marketing on events. Now you will tell me, why am I bringing a corporate person to this live session where we are going to talk about relationships? Hold your horses. We are going to shoot the things right there. But before that, let me add a little more who she is all about. She's a life coach with expertise in self growth, a motivational speaker, and host on an online talk show with influential personalities called as Sharp Conversations, and an author in making. She has been also trained herself in Bharatanatyam and Indian contemporary ballet dancing. Oh, I love that. I would love to do ballet with you. I cannot do with you technically, but I would want to do it with my husband. From performing professionally, she got into conceptualization and organizing cultural events of music, dance, plays, and festivals, etc. And is a cultural influencer as well. Again, you must be thinking then why she is on this platform. Hold, guys, hold. You will definitely have all your queries solved because she is an expert in herself. She she is something, is getting a life. When you life teaches you, that's your biggest teacher, and she's exactly the same. She is a brilliant coach. She is a brilliant speaker, and the way she speaks, I have been talking to her since like a month now, and I know, I really get charged up when she speaks to me, and I look forward to having a position like hers where I can also interview a lot of influential people. So yes, without wasting any more of your time, can I welcome Dipali on this call? Hi Dipali, can you join me? Let me see whether I can see her or not. And there she is with a bang. Firstly, before telling anything, look at her, guys. Don't you see the poise right in the front of your eyes in the screen? The way she's putting herself, her body language, her smile. It's so beautiful. And you will see now when she speaks, she's going to just sprinkle magic all over your phones. So here is Dipali for you guys. And Dipali, hi, and thank you so much for joining on this live call with us.
Ruchi, you are just tremendous. I tell you, I keep watching your shows. I love your zest. I love your energy. I think you are doing a
Thank you.
phenomenal job.
Sure.
And I'm so delighted to be with you here. Thank you for inviting me. And you have given me such a beautiful introduction. I'm extremely grateful and thank you to you. You
Thank
are
you so
awesome.
much.
You're really lovely
Wow.
because I love your energy. I love your spirit.
Thank you so much, Dipali. Thank you so much for being so kind to me. But you know what? I love to be energetic because that makes me really feel alive. And when I have a feeling that if I have a positive approach towards my entire process and entire vision and entire mission, people will know that if she can, and some of them know my story. So if she can, we can too. And that's the reason, whatever it may be, I try to give maximum life to my live sessions, and that is why it's a live session. That's a very bad joke, but still kind of putting it across. All right, Dipali. So how are you been doing? How was your day?
Very well, thank you, my dear. There is always so much to do. One is trying to make the most of this situation because I have led such a busy, hectic professional life that there was always shortage of time, or
I have
aaj tiny time hai. So it is right to be able to really, segmentize oneself and kind of cope up with a lot of things that one wanted to do and make the most of this time. So बहुत अच्छा दिन रहा and अच्छा समय चल रहा. I'm sure things will improve soon enough. So one is keeping
absolutely.
oneself actually very high and then tide over this situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Dipali, we are into 15 minutes into the call. So, what we'll do is we'll rightly shoot into the questions. We'll just jump in because I have so many amazing questions to ask and also to understand your perspective towards it. So, audience, if you guys are there, if you want to ask any questions, please drop your comments in the comment box and we will take it when we are going through middle of it. All right, Dipali. So, as our topic about the day is how to separate pain from pleasure in marriage. I was literally getting, shootouts at, bhai, we are not feeling pain, we don't consider like this. And they were literally bombarding their negative messages on me. And I was like, hold on your horses. I will give you a new definition to what I know what pain is and pleasure is. But Dipali, what do you think? How will you define pain and pleasure in a married life?
Ruchi, I consider pain and pleasure as emotions which are a part of a continuum, which means that it's in a continuous sequence. They are in the same range, and yet they are very distinct. Between pain and pleasure, it's like a gain and a loss. It's like rewards and punishment. We seek to reward ourselves with immediate gratification. When we start feeling things which are full of pleasure, and when we remain stuck in situations which are painful, then of course it's about punishment all the way. So we
Right.
try we try to seek pleasure by alleviating pain, which is rightfully so, because that is what we should be really doing. And as people, we should be able to make choices to decrease our pain, to avoid pain, and increase our pleasure, and this
Right.
essentially can happen only if we are able to make the right kind of choices. We believe in our systems, in our feelings, and in our actions, really, and take
Right.
the appropriate actions that we really need to take. There is a
Right.
very interesting saying which says, face the inevitable pain in life, which pain comes, which life gives you, and pleasure will follow. And this is
Right.
a principle which is true to life in every aspect, as well as marriages, because with pleasure that follows after
Comes.
pain in marriage is beautiful. So we have to make out how we need to alleviate ourselves from pain and move towards pleasure. And so when we talk about marriage, we have to understand that pain basically in context of marriage, according to me, happens at two levels. One is externally and one is internally. Now, pain which comes
Right.
according to me from the external factors, Ruchi, can be controlled, can be negated, can be avoided, can be worked around. But what
Hmm.
the pain comes from the internal
Hmm.
situations, internal problems, which means that between a couple, if there is emotional polarization, there is mental incompatibility, there is lack of trust and appreciation, there is economic stress, there is difference in parenting children. You could have different ways and means of wanting to parent children that can cause
Absolutely.
you a stress. And
Right.
generally, distinct difference in likes and dislikes, and there is no commonality at all. And most importantly, if there is lack of physical intimacy, so there can be many pain points as couples who are married can go through these very internal pain points which need to be certainly addressed. We need to
Right.
eliminate these
Right.
points and move towards pleasure. And we have to take a very focused approach and resolve them to gain happiness and pleasure in our lives.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, Otherwise, if you allow them to go beyond your control and you're not able to take charge of your pains, pleasure is going to go out of the window, marriage is going to fail, it's going to be doomsday. So we have to really decide that between pain and pleasure, we should keep them in different boxes, literally, and not
Right.
let pain override pleasure, and not let ego take over your pleasure, because sometimes you're not able to resolve things because your ego is so large. So basically you have to show a lot of mental and emotional maturity and
Yes.
stability to be able to address pain and pleasure and resolve your pains for pleasure in life. So that's
Absolutely,
what I
that's beautifully put. So beautifully put. Like, well said, yeah, Dipali. So even I understood a clear meaning. So pain is something that you expect out, and it really is. It's really default that when you talk to people, you really feel that they consider certain things as it is. They take it the default product of marriage. But you rightly said that put them in different boxes, and that will give them a clear vision that okay, this is the pain which should not bother my pleasure, and this is the pleasure which should not come in between my pain. Amazing. So Jay Mishra over here says great inputs, Dipali. Yeah, Jay,
think.
continue. Stay with us for next 30 minutes, and I'm sure you're going to get so much more from Dipali because she is amazing. With that note, Dipali, I'm really wanting to know your journey. Like, I have been talking to you, and you have told me certain things, and I want my audience to know about it as well. That when did you decide that okay, this is it? I want to put end to my pain, my sufferings, and you decided to choose pleasure. You decided to be a coach, and you kind of took ownership to yourself. When did that happen? Please share your story with us.
So, Aruchi, there are two parts to your question. One is my journey,
Yes.
and then how did I get into coaching? Yeah. So,
Yes.
when I talk about my journey, yes, I had a fantabulous marriage for many years, and then things started to go wrong in life, and they went wrong beyond control, you know. And it was painful, it was traumatic, um, we all have ups and downs in life. I tried to salvage my life, my married life, gave it my best shot, and but I guess man proposes and God disposes. It probably wasn't meant to be. Many times two good people, two good human beings, come together for a reason and then it just falls apart. And that is what happened in my life. So initially it was very traumatic and very difficult to understand why things were going wrong. And then came a time, Ruchi, when I decided, when I looked at myself and I realized that I was only, trying and questioning, and it was
Net.
making me nowhere in life. That can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I had actually lost you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then I realized that there was no point in gazing and crying and questioning. I needed to accept the reality in my life. And the day
Right.
I got to face the reality, I needed to understand that how I'm going to really resurrect my life. And I with my children, I decided to really go heads on with trying to put my life. And it all started by accepting what was happening. And the moment I
Right.
accepted, a lot of solutions and creative solutions started coming up. And God helps those who help themselves. I'm a firm believer of that. That till the time I was not taking my steps, nothing was happening. But the day I decided to take my steps, move on in life, accept the reality, things started to happen, and I started to let go of the pain in my life and started looking forward to pleasure and fresher times ahead with my children and myself, and of course
Wow.
with family and friends and life ahead.
Wow.
So that's
How
one thing.
that shows how strong you are.
Now, life teaches you, Ruti, you have to just accept it gracefully and you have to move on. And there is no other way. You have to sometimes understand when to hold on to situations and when you have to let go of them.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I would agree to that.
Yeah.
Right.
So the second part of coaching is that,
Yes.
yes, so coaching happened to me. By chance, frankly, because I was very, very busy as a professional. But in December 2018, I developed an ill condition of my ears. I developed something called tinnitus. Okay,
Okay.
that's a continuous buzzing of sound. Now that happened to me. Yeah, that happened to me because of my work life, because of my association with Fashion TV for almost 10 years plus, about 11 years or so. Now, initial years of my association with Fashion TV was essentially with hospitality vertical of Fashion TV, which meant that I was heading the nightclubs, the bar and lounges, etc. My company owned and franchise owned, and I was a part of high sound decibel most of the time. And the brand itself, you know what fashion TV is about, a lot of glamour, a lot of fashion, a lot of entertainment. So I used to almost have an events calendar for 365 days in a year, literally. So what happened was that when I went for a checkup, doctor told me that you have developed this problem and you will not be able to now be a part of that kind of high volume decibel environment, and also couldn't travel too frequently. So I got into a very low state of mind, Ruchi, and because I often say it was like telling an athlete that he can't run, and that's the way I got this information and news from the doctor, because my life was all about first being a performer as a dancer, then as an events person, an organizer, then fashion TV. So I didn't know what really hit me. I went into an extremely low space of mind. I didn't know how to handle myself. I wanted help. I started seeing some counselors and, of course, parallelly taking medication that I needed to. But even visiting the counselors didn't really help me, because the
Yes.
mind would go back to the same kind of thinking. One day, a lot of these pop-ups that I had been seeing of Mr. Arfin Khan coming on my Instagram, I thought to myself, I must go for it. because it seemed that there was something calling me with those pop-ups coming on my Instagram. I went for his presentation and I thought that he was talking to me because he spoke about a process. He spoke about timelines. He spoke about a permanent transformation. And he spoke about hand-holding you in your times of where you needed to be pulled up out of your situations of being stuck. Now that resonated with me very, very well because so far, like I said, visiting counselors and therapists hadn't
Why not
helped me.
have? Right.
But yes, and being a process-driven person myself, whatever Mr. Arfin Khan was saying in terms of his framework and his timelines and all that he mentioned, I went in, I gave it a shot. I said I must align myself with him, and true to his process, true to his system, Ruchi, I was able to bounce back within 2.5 months to being the same happy-go-lucky, very bold and
Wow.
courageous person that I had been always, you know. So once that happened, I felt that also as a part of my work life, I was constantly training and mentoring people in my own way, you know. So
Yes.
this contribution came to me very naturally. And when
Right.
this happened to me with Mr. Arfin Khan, when I went through transformation myself, coaching automatically became the next step for me, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And I thought that it was time for me to really take that forward myself and start contributing, start speaking and sharing with people my journey of how I transformed and how it was now time for me to give back to people. So that's how I
Wow.
started my journey with coaching.
I can completely resonate with you, Dipali. I was in the similar state, the kind of energetic Ruchi you see now. I had lost myself after marriage, and that's exactly how I gained myself back in just 2 weeks. Because I got this biggest breakthrough that I was living in my past. I was not accepting my present as the way it was. Back then, when you would have asked me, I would have always given you answers about Ruchi being in the past. I was that living in my past and it was kind of haunting me. And that breakthrough made me come back on my feet. And here I am right in front of you, back with the same energy, back with a purpose, being a better human being altogether. And now I even like you, even I feel like contributing maximum to the married couples because I know for a reason that it is very much possible to design a happily ever after life. But with that note, without moving forward, let me take the compliments. I cannot afford to miss compliments because that's what the beauty of life is. Dipali, you are wonder. What a Dipali ji. Hina Bhalla says, always a pleasure to hear Dipali. Narula Jay Mishra says, yes, Dipali is so inspiring and even says great positivity, love her clarity of thought. Utsav says, wow. Yusha Punjabi says, wow, Dipali, a wonderful journey. Also, Dipanshi Dandan says, kindly check sound call clarity. Dipanshi, aren't we audible to you? Guys, are we audible to you? I can hear Dipali pretty
I
well.
can hear you well. I can hear you well.
Cool, cool. So let's move forward. Maybe Dipanshi, can you check your internet connection as well? So yes, Dipali, as we were talking about this beautiful transformation, and I getting okay. So we have Shloka saying excellent. Okay, I'll highlight this too. Why miss a good feeling? You are doing a great job. Okay, so Shloka, thank you so much for this confirmation. We will move ahead. So yes, Dipali, when I was talking about it, yes, you got a purpose in your life as to contribute. I got a purpose in life to contribute, and with that note, I got into being a couple clarity expert, and I firmly believe that happily ever after is possible. What is your say on that? What is your say of happily ever after?
Oh, Richie, I firmly believe in happily ever after. You know, I believe in the institution of marriage. I believe in the coming together of two people for a lifetime, which is why they are called life partners. Yeah. So I
Absolutely.
certainly believe in the happily ever after, adage. And the only thing that is very, very important is that to make it into a lifelong happily
Yes.
ever after, we
Ev-
must follow some ground rules, you know. We must
mm,
consistently nourish and nurture our married life, our relationship,
Absolutely.
you know, because over a period of time when you are together, and over the years, sometimes the sheen of married life can fade away a little bit, but it
Yes.
will never happen if you're able to work on your ground rules. You're able to maintain the sanctity of your married life. You make it as a purpose for yourself,
Yes.
when you make it as a purpose for yourself, in your life, and you take the responsibility of making it into a happy married life for each other, you automatically work towards this, and
Yes.
I think when you make your ground rules, which are your relationship goals, you must make them
Yes.
in the beginning of your relationship, and ensure that you follow them throughout your lifetime. And then I would think that there is no way that the happily ever after wouldn't happen and that things can go wrong. You just have to go through
Absolutely.
the journey of nurturing and nourishing your relationship, So
Absolutely.
if I was to briefly touch upon the relationship goals, it's essentially, about showing feelings to each other uh, constantly by way of doing deeds for each other. It's not about only feeling romantic and not doing anything for each other. You must keep doing little things for each other, right? Then you must also curate your own rituals, your habitual rituals, whether it means you are going out for your daily walks, whether you're spending about 30 minutes to an hour together exclusively discussing and sharing things, whether it is about going for that out of home dinner with your husband as a date, maybe once a week or twice a week, whatever is convenient, whether it is about your annual holidays. You must cultivate your rituals, your habitual
Rituals.
rituals, that you remain connected, You must also then be very clear about your expectations in life. If you are able to share your expectations with each other, and the couple, as a couple, you have an understanding of your expectations, then you are able to mutually keep complementing each other and not feel कि ये कुछ
Right.
चीज जो नहीं हो सकती है या unreasonable है. You also have to be, Ruchi, always very honest. You have to be
Yes.
truthful. You have to be respectful. You have to be committed. Infidelity has no room. Infidelity has no
No
scope.
rule.
Loyalty always pays. You have to remain honest and committed to each other. Then,
Right.
another very important thing is to also help each other to blossom. You
Yes.
must allow each other to fulfill your unique goals, and you must support each other to be able to, go forward in your life, make it fruitful with the support of each other. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, you should
Absolutely.
also be able to, define your own boundaries in life. You must know how you need to, keep away the external influences which may be
Yes.
harmful for you in your marriage. So you must be
Yes.
very clear on that. You
Yes.
should be able to work on them. And then keep talking to each other. If there are problems which keep coming up, discuss karo, thoda evaluate karo, solutions dhondo, and things go on happening beautifully. So I think you have to just prioritize your relationship. You have to keep it before everything else, really.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
also mutually keep agreeing on your physical gratification towards each other, keep that lovely connect with each other. So these are
Right.
little things. These are the ground rules which, make the foundation of your married life, and it will then, of course, help you to always be in a state of happily ever after.
Absolutely, Dipali. Such beautifully put up. I agree to all the points you said, but I would add on to one more point over here. What I feel and believe that marital friendship is something that would create a base to your marriage. All this that you just said would be within a completeness would be coming from a friendship. If you really like, you look to your friends, like if even if you fight for 100 times, even if they kind of make mock fun of you, you will always always go back to the friend, because there is a friendship without expectations. When you have that similar kind of friendship, the marital friendship with your spouse, you would really enjoy the journey, and that is the whole purpose of marrying. Nobody has asked you to marry because you have to, it's your responsibility to put your humanity, मतलब वो human race आपके बना हुआ खत्म नहीं हो जाने वाली है. It's not a responsibility, it's a fun loving journey which you have to kind of live together. Your parents will come and go, your kids will come and go. It's your life partner who you are going to walk the life with, and you're going to die together. So why not make it as memorable as you can, as friendly as you can, and as fun as you can? I mean, that would be crazy, right? You want to do anything and everything, and you just have to look right and left, and you will find your spouse anywhere somewhere near you, and you just grab your hand and let's go bungee jumping. And your spouse is like, is my man crazy? But that's life. That is what's supposed to be like. Amazing, Dipali. But before I move on to the next question, Jay Mishra is asking over here, is pleasure a return on investment? I think no.
Yes, for sure. Pleasure. The more you invest in happy and and have moments of a lot of pleasure in your life, certainly it's a great return on investment for sure.
For sure, absolutely. But I also would want to add something, Jay, over here. I feel that if you consider yourself while investing your deed that I will get return from my partner, I think then you will go a little crazy that time, because you will not have to expect it from your partner. It is your responsibility to be happy from within and make the partner feel that positive vibe and feel that energy and feel that happiness to join in your happiness. And then that would be return on investment. But invest in yourself also. So yes, with that.
Ruchi, invest in your relationship, invest in your partner, invest in your emotions, keep it as a priority. These are all investments towards your happily ever after. And of course, the return on investment would be that much more beautiful and that much
absolutely, absolutely. It is so beautiful. But suppose, Dipali, हमने सब कर लिया, we have invested everything. What you said, we followed everything. But in some cases, after all the efforts, things do not work as per our plan, because life has own plans also. So suppose things do not work as what we have thought it to, or was what we expected to work. So when is that moment when you put your foot down and say to yourself that I have had enough, and from this moment I will have to take actions? What is that boiling point where you have to take actions for yourself?
It's a very important question, Ruchi, and very well put, because it is a difficult situation also in life when you reach that stage that you have, you have to decide about the fact that now I have done enough and it's time for me to quit and give up on your married life. It's not a very easy situation, really, and it's a painful situation as well. You know, when you reach a situation like this, sometimes I also find that when your relationship actually hits rock bottom, there is also an opportunity in adversity. Sometimes you're also able to turn it around. But
Yes.
if it doesn't happen and you are really going through a lot of trauma, misery, pain, this deceit, this mistrust, and you try to do everything to salvage your relationship, then you have to recognize the fact that it is time for you to take a decision and,
Yes.
yourself body and tell yourself that, yeah, I have given it my best shot and I have given all my power to it. I have really worked to salvage my married life, because the trigger is always in your hand. You can always, let go of the marriage. So once you have realized that there is nothing going to come out of my married life anymore, and I've really given it my best shot, and you have deciphered all your options, and you've evaluated the situation, then I think, there is no reason that why you should remain in a painful relationship, you know.
Right.
And the only thing is that when you take the decision, you should not be feeling regretful. You should not feel,
Right.
you know,
Agree.
you don't need to feel that, I could have done this or I could have done
Yeah.
that, and then feel regretful later, So when you realize that you have done all that, you've done that homework in your mind, and you know कि अब कोई गुंजाइश रह नहीं गई है, and there is only pain, there is only despair, there's only misery and trauma and all those areas that I mentioned, then certainly you should just gather yourself together, put a healthy closure to your life, and just move on to heal yourself. Get away from the pain, from the brokenness. Be kind to yourself and just move on in life.
Yeah, but you're just saying that, that you move from, you heal yourself, you move out of that brokenness. But it doesn't sound that easy, Dipali, when the person is in that situation, he or she is really broken. How to heal yourself after such situation? How to heal that broken heart, which is very painful. So how do you do that, Dipali?
You know, when you go through your relationship which has become so toxic,
Hmm.
so miserable, and it is only Ruchi, it is only bringing a pain to your life, you know. And like I said, those are moments when you realize that you really have to move on. So you stand up for yourself, you know. You realize that you have to move out of it, or out of your relationship very gracefully. You have to tell yourself of
Hmm.
getting out of the you know, the misery and the trauma gracefully, without any anger, without any angst and resentment, you know. Because if you're able to get out of your relationship keeping all these emotions at bay, then your healing process becomes that much more quicker. You're able to make better choices in life, and you're able to start absolutely afresh. You know, so couple of points I will give you quickly, that how do you heal yourself really, or how
Yes,
you come out
yes.
of that situation. You know, so the quick things would be, a, when you have decided and you're out of your relationship, you don't need to get into too many reflective thoughts about what has gone wrong in the
Okay.
marriage, and you know, you should just let things then just pass. You can't keep going back to those
Back
thoughts,
to
and you can't keep letting them have an impact on your mind. You have to
right.
let go. Hmm? Then you have to ensure you are in an environment of a lot of laughter, a lot of happiness with your family and friends you trust, where you can just let yourself free, and you are
Yes.
in a state of mind which is constantly in a happy state of mind. You know, you basically promise yourself to be in an environment where you can be very upbeat about yourself. Yeah. Then
Yes.
you know, when you move away, you suddenly also of course become aimless, but you also get independent, you know.
Yep.
So you have to find direction for your life. You have to find an aim and a purpose again in your life. You have to gather yourself with a lot of self confidence, a lot of self esteem, and then follow your passions. Start loving yourself again. Feel very strong about yourself, because sometimes in a bad relationship आप कहीं ना कहीं अपना सेल्फ एस्टीम, अपना कॉन्फिडेंस
Yes.
कहीं खो देते हैं. आप भूल जाते हैं कि आप क्या थे. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप अपने आप को गैदर करिए, अपने सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस और सेल्फ एस्टीम को वापस लाइए. फील गुड अबाउट योर सेल्फ. Tell yourself that how capable you used to be and that you can be capable again. So
Yes.
work on
Absolutely.
your strengths. Work on your strengths and negate all kind of negativity. Stop being self-judgmental. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. You know, don't keep feeling that you are not worth it. Everything is fine if you work on your strengths. The other very
Absolutely.
important thing in today's time is get off your social media for some time.
Yeah, and that's the easiest way possible to get off the social pressure, social, kind of feeling you have about your image on social platform. That's
And
totally easy one.
and also, Richie, you know, you have a tendency to go and keep seeing what your ex
Yeah.
partner is doing, what is, he or she is posting. You don't need to be following each other anymore for some time. Get over the social media handles. Stop following your partner and stop following the mundane stuff that you end up otherwise watching and, you know, getting influenced by. Then the other very important thing is that you should be able to neutralize the blame. There's no point in having a blame game to blame your
Yes.
spouse or to blame yourself. Now it is a matter of being past over it, getting over it. So किसी के ऊपर बार बार ब्लेम डालना या अपने ऊपर ब्लेम लेना कहीं तुम्हें पहुंचाएगा नहीं. So you must
Right.
accept the situation, neutralize blame, and move on. You know, and
Right.
also because you are now moving on in life, you can plan your activities, you can plan a new life, you can plan new partnerships, you can plan new relationships, you can plan your new lifestyle. So apply your mind towards, you know, activities and things in life which can make you feel excited about your future, about resurrecting the future which you're going to now look forward to, and feel happy and be in a space which is going to be far more pleasurable. And of course,
Absolutely.
lastly, I think work on yourself mentally and physically.
That is
Exercise, take care of your health, take care of your state of mind and your, your emotional, do emotional engineering and physical fitness along with it and move on. So these are certain,
And I think even that would kind of give you a boost in releasing happy hormones, which will make you
yes,
feel good
yes,
about yourself in some or the other way. When you exercise, when you meditate, it gives you a positive approach, a kind of spiritual connect to your purpose of being in this world. So yes,
yes.
absolutely right.
So you follow a healthy regimen, enlighten yourself spiritually. So all these points, Ruchi, help you to tide over that situation. You know, you are
Right.
able to put your life together again.
Right, absolutely. But few guys, people over here are just giving a different opinion. So let's cover their point also. So Shobana and Dipanshi is almost somewhere saying the same. Pain and pleasure go hand in hand in a marriage, or for that matter of any relationship. And Dipanshi also has something similar. When you gain, pain is always there. So would you like to add something to this also?
You know, Ruchi, we already touched upon that in the beginning.
Yes, yes, we
You know,
did. But because I think they must have joined in now. Maybe you can just give a line or so.
so basically, there is absolutely, you know, we alleviate from pain to go towards pleasure. The pain and pleasure are two emotions which go almost parallelly in life. We have to make our choices to be able to understand how we need to work on our pains, how we need to negate and elevate ourselves from pain towards pleasure. Because if we don't do that, then obviously we are making our choices, unfortunately, very harmful for ourselves, because you cannot go on living in a situation of pain all the time. So you have to understand how you need to, look at gaining pleasure out of your pain in life by making the kind of choices that you can make with your thoughts,
Right.
your actions, your beliefs, your decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I hope Shobna and Dipanshi, we could answer you in the way you wanted to hear. If not, drop in the comment box and we shall take it. We what? We are like 50 minutes into the call already. Wow, time flies. See, this happens when I really do my life. Sometimes you don't have a time check, and we are just like 10 minutes left. Amazing. With that note, we'll quickly put up the other questions that I have. So Dipali, I have been hearing stories where I've come across women, especially, who have been bearing physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, or moreover emotional abuse for over years. Okay, for either the sake of their kids, because they are afraid that what would their kids have an impact, their mental and psychological impact, their family or their financial dependency, or maybe they're just too afraid that at this age, if they go back to their parents, how will their parents face society. So there are multiple reasons where they are scared to take actions, but their life is so much attached to that pain they are keeping on bearing, that separation seems just impossible for them. So what do you suggest to women like that? How can they come differentiate their pain from pleasure?
Ruchi, these are very, from case to case, these situations differ really. But I would think that any sort of abuse, particularly physical abuse, followed by all the abuses that you've said, in my view, it is zero tolerance towards physical abuse. But for any
Right.
reason, some women want to give themselves chances because they probably feel that ठीक है,
Yeah.
हस्बैंड को एक चांस दे दें या दो चांस और दे दें. Maybe it has happened in a situation where he just went out, blew his lid up, or as a woman maybe I aggravated and agitated him the wrong way. So you give justification and you allow this to happen and you give yourself a chance. But if your husband is a habitual physical abuser and sexual abuser and emotional and mental abuser, then I don't know why any woman really needs to be in that relationship, because it will never ever improve, and it will have a
Right.
terrible impact on the children, on the woman herself, and the relationships of people around you in your situations. It will never work. So, what is very
Right.
important here is that the lady or the woman who's going through this, she must be able to, gauge her situation with all her gumption and understand that is she really going to go on in her life like that? Because situations can become even more worse if her husband
Yeah,
is
yeah,
being
absolutely.
a sexual abuser. So does she want to really stay in that situation? Because Ruchi, till the time you are not ready to help yourself, nobody will come and help you either. So अगर आप खुद अपनी सिचुएशन को समझते हैं और उससे निकलना चाहते हैं, तो आपको अपनी ताकत, अपनी स्ट्रेंथ को हर तरह से इकट्ठे करके you will have to garner yourself with all your confidence and strength and courage to be able to take the necessary stand. It is like you and me or other professionals can take them to a point. It's like taking a horse to the river, but the horse has to drink water himself. जब तक वो अपनी
Right.
गर्दन नहीं पिएगा तो वो पानी कैसे पिएगा? It's the same situation कि जब तक के these women who are going through these situations, till the time they don't decide for themselves कि बस not
Yeah.
anymore, and I
Right.
need help, you know, then they have various choices they can look at.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
can talk to people in the family or friends whom they trust. If it is really ugly, they can reach out to associations, they can reach out to NGOs, they can take legal opinion, they can do so much to salvage the situation. But what is very important is कि वो उस सिचुएशन से निकलना चाहती हैं या नहीं, वो उनको ही तय करना है.
Right. So Rashmi here is adding that women also stay in abusive relationship because of economic reasons as well. Besides children, yes, that is what I said, that they are financially dependent on them. That was there in my question. But Rashmi, there is a point that Dipali just mentioned, that once you decide to at least move out of this relationship, then you can see the hundreds of roads that are there to follow, and then you can also start from somewhere and start earning for yourself and start being independent financially as well. But for that, at least you will have to take that step. One is to move out of that relationship. So I hope, Rashmi, we are clear with that point as well.
Absolutely.
Great,
Absolutely.
Dipali. Great. So, Dipali, we are keeping on talking about women. We are keeping on talking about women empowerment. But I really feel that men need more help than women. We talk that men are abusive and women have to take charge and women are suffering. But women are also abusive in certain relationship, and in that cases, men are super afraid of sharing it with somebody because they have a fear of being judged and laughed upon. So I think that it is very important for the man to take the stand also. So, how would you suggest a man to separate his pain, his agony from his pleasure? It's very important for the man to also speak out.
Yes, I agree. I agree. There are men who go through these situations in life where women can make their life miserable and very abusive.
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
and a lot of women have been taking advantage of the law and their rights, and
Yes.
indulging in situations where the life of a man becomes completely, they're not able to do much about it really. But I feel that men also have options. Men also have choices, and if they don't speak about it, it's more to do with their egos. They don't want to speak about it because I think the ego is too large and it comes too much in the way of being able to really talk about things. But having said that, to safeguard his interest, to safeguard himself from these situations where he feels completely helpless, he can do a couple of things. He can also, in today's time, take advantage of technology, you know, capture
Yeah, maybe
moments.
like, yeah,
He is
capture moments, right?
in situations where it is so abusive, and he is being subjected to terrible behavior by the woman in his life. So he can take advantage of capturing those moments. He can reach out to some of the people. हर आदमी के के जिंदगी में भी कोई ना कोई ऐसा जरूर होता है फैमिली में या फ्रेंड्स में जिससे वो बात कर सकता है. He must be able to speak and discuss about it. And also, most importantly, go ahead, take legal opinion. There are also NGOs, by the way, just like for women, there are also NGOs working for men. So they can also reach out to these NGOs depending on the seriousness and the gravity of the situation. And reach out to lawyers for legal opinion if they really have to go that route also. So there are ways and means for men also to relieve themselves of this sort of a pain and agony, for sure. For sure.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Dipali, I just have one more question left, but before that, over here there are certain discussions going on, so we'll pick up that. Rashmi is saying that if you are only a housewife, it becomes that very much more difficult. We agree to that, Rashmi. But if you are a housewife, that doesn't mean that you are in the default position to bear something unconditionally. So if you are a housewife, it doesn't show that you have to bear your physical abuse. You have to live in that situation. You can always move out and choose your way to live a happy life by yourself, because your life is not worthy, of living such kind of married life. It's better you kind of create your own independent identity after you post divorce. That is what I feel. What do you say, Dipali? Because we have one more query after that.
No, absolutely, Ruchi. At the end of the day, you have to, if you are in a situation where it's a matter of life and death and you have to make a choice, you will move out. You will find out ways and means of regaining your strength and your ability and capability. Reach out to people who can be of help to you. Get onto the road of becoming economically and financially independent. So it's always about being able to put your act together once you take a decision, and then move forward, resolve all the problems and crises that you may be facing. And once you take that necessary stand in life, रास्ते अपने आप खुलते जाते हैं.
Right, Dipali, and this reminds me of a beautiful story that my mentor had told me when I was giving reasons to myself. He said, "Okay, Ruchi, we agree that you are a." I was a homemaker back then, so I was giving out reasons that I have responsibilities and kids and that and so and so. He told me, "Okay, fine, you stay as you are, and now your house is on fire." And you will have to move out of the house. So it's like, exactly, when your house is on fire, you will jump out of the house to save your house, yourself first, your family first. You will not look up to the house and say that, "Oh my God, I love my house and I don't want to move out." You will jump out. Likewise, if you are in that kind of setup of a marriage, you will jump out, because that's your life. And Shloka over here says, please speak about how important is financial independency throughout a marriage. Yes, Dipali, you can answer that.
I would think for sure women must equip themselves to be financially independent. They must be able to carve out their niche, whichever area of field that is of interest to them. I did take them up as a part of the ground rules for your married life. Talk about your unique goals, talk about your aspirations, work towards them with your partner. And if it is not happening, with a dialogue, try ways and means of putting your act together, of making yourself financially independent, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Shloka, Jay, Rashmi, I hope we are kind of sounding, we're making sense to you, and we are solving your questions as well. If you have anything, we have few more minutes into the live. Please, please, please drop in your comments, and we will definitely love to have your point of view as well. With that note, I would want to ask you one last question about men. So So men are basically, I feel that they are very emotionally complicated people, humans, because they are not very good at handling emotions, especially when it comes to accepting, communicating, and channelizing their emotions in a proper manner. Kind of they'll feel something else and they'll express something else, or they'll my couple clients. So how can we help men to speak their hearts out, to speak their emotions out? And I really want that to happen, because men, that's the reason I feel that most of the men die of heart attack, because they keep everything to themselves, to maintain their dignity. So I think women don't die out of emotions, because we just have a habit to go blah 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 blah, and we are all sorted. But men really need help. So Dipali, how do you ask men to handle their emotions?
मुझे ये लगता है रुचि that men are not so emotionally complicated, but their ability to understand complexity of situations is less, and they simply not interested in addressing complex situations, and men have their own ways of reflecting their emotions, which comes through their behavior and in the manner that they would speak, not about what they speak, but the way they speak and their behavior. So
Right.
have their ways of reflecting their displeasure, really. And this also, reminds me of a very interesting metaphor that somewhere I read that, communication, of course, is a two-way thing, or is a two-way street. And when you want your man to speak of his feelings, it's like his side of the road is under construction. जो two-way street है, उसमें when the man has to speak, his road becomes with a plank saying it's under construction. So then you have to maneuver your way through potholes, etc., streets, and make and put your brakes, which would need a lot of patience, which would need a lot of humor, and then you get through the situation of getting them to talk. And when you get them to talk, once you're able to succeed, of course, then it is clear and smooth. But
Right.
having said that, I think there are few things that a woman has to look at to get her man to really speak. They just have to ensure that when they are wanting to speak to their spouses, it's a comfortable environment. It's the right place and time for them to have a dialogue. Don't push yourself down his throat.
Yeah.
Don't exert situations. Talk to him very
Yeah.
amiable and very with a lot of sensitivity. And you can, of course, once you're able to create that environment, then you can put up your very pointed questions and get down
Yeah.
to asking him about things that are of concern. And कहीं पे अगर लगे कि जवाब ठीक नहीं आ रहा, तो फिर पता होना चाहिए कि कहाँ पर उस समय ब्रेक लगा दी जाए और फिर बाद में बात की जाए. So, and also when you have your
Right.
concerns,
Right. Right.
you should be able to declutter your concerns. ये नहीं कि इकट्ठे ही you clutter his mind and your
हाँ.
own, declutter your mind, break your problems into small problems, and then focus on them and get down to talking and discussing and resolving your situations, and do it with a lot of maturity, with a lot of
Right.
sensibility and in place, and a lot of well-meaningness. It should be about wanting to resolve situations which are painful or are concerning, and this is again all about getting to make him understand this is all about bringing pleasure in life and
Yes.
negating any sort of a pain which may be happening in his mind and he's not being able to talk. So give him an
Yes.
opportunity to talk. Let
Yeah,
him,
that reminds me of a couple. I was sitting in front of them, and the lady started complaining, "ये तो कुछ बोलते ही नहीं है." And I looked at the guy like, "ये तो कुछ बोलने देते ही नहीं है."
I missed you because your voice got garbled. I missed you. Yeah. Ruchi, I've kind of lost you. I think something has gone wrong with your internet. Friends, I think the Wi-Fi has kind of got a bit stuck. I can see Ruchi there, but of course, frozen. I'm sure she'll come back. We'll give her a minute. Friends, if you have any more questions, of course, you're welcome to ask Ruchi or me, and we would be more than happy to revert to you with our understandings and our solutions to your problem.
I'm back.
I can see Ruchi coming back. Yes, Ruchi. So I think this is an indication that we are kind of overdone with our time. So maybe if you are, you have any question, welcome to ask.
I don't know. There was no indication like that. My baby took my Wi-Fi dongle away as a toy, and that kind of disconnected me to the internet. So it was kept on the charge, and she just took it back. All right, sorry for the interruption, guys, but I hope Dipali would have answered you. So yes, I think we will just read few of this. Very okay. So we covered Yusha's question, so that is why he's writing. You covered my question, so thank you so much for covering the question. Jay is asking, let's take this. Let's decide if you want to take this. Would all this apply to same-sex marriages, Dipali?
Well, the fundamental, situations and responses to those situations remain the same. So it's all about relationships. It's all about partnerships. So I would certainly say that everything that we've spoken about also remains the same for people of same sexes.
Absolutely right. So with that note, I would just ask. Sorry, I clicked it again. Okay, why doesn't it go? Okay, cool. So with that note, Dipali, we are about to end our live session. So it's like a couple of minutes for you guys. If you want to shoot any questions to Dipali, she is all yours. She is all ours. We can ask her anything if you want. But with that note, what is your idea of happily ever after, Dipali? Like, I really believe in that, and I would want all of my experts to give their idea. So I get different opinions of what is the idea of happily ever after.
Ruchi, I have already of course, answered this question earlier, but to say
Yes,
that
yes, but it's like a closure.
yes, it's for sure. And I certainly believe in happily ever after for sure. And like I said, for happily ever after, couples must keep working on themselves. They must keep nurturing and nourishing their relationship goals, keep visiting them regularly. The idea of the idea of love and romance, like I had said earlier, does change over a period of time, because you are in it together for so long. But remember that in life, nothing is really perfect. You have to make it work by continuously working towards it, and you have to then
Awesome.
also remember, you also have to remember that, true love only brings meaning and happiness to your life in both
Right.
happy and difficult situations. So certainly
Amazing.
always work towards your happily ever after. It certainly exists.
Awesome. That's superb. Thank you so much, guys. You have been an amazing audience. We didn't even realize we are about 1 hour. And thank you so much, Dipali, for sharing this moment with us where we can add value to my audience life. And you gave so much new perspective today. So it was really powerful. And thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this entire session with you.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, Ruchi, and I hope our conversation is going to be of help
Yes.
to a lot of people out there. And I hope to catch you
Yes.
soon and take some
Absolutely.
interesting subjects in the near future together. So thank you and bye bye, and thank you to each one of your audience. And there are some friends who've been there, some family members. I'm really delighted that they managed to take out time and be online with us. So thank you, each one of you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, guys. Bye. Good night. Have a happy weekend. Stay in love. Stay happy because happily ever after does exist, guys. And don't forget to show your love and affection to your loved ones. And I will see you next week with a different theme, with a new episode on the same platform. Ta-da!